Apparently there was a music festival where someone chanted "Death to the IDF," and this caused a bit of a hubbub in a way that I thought was ludicrous and worth talking about. Apparently this is controversial, like saying "death to the IDF." We're talking about a military here. A military currently doing genocide, no less, and that even before it was doing this specific genocide, was dedicated to occupying, massacring, and raping the Palestinian people. And someone says "death to the IDF," meaning combatants. Obviously, the IDF is the Israeli military. They are combatants. Even on and I remember on YouTube, YouTube's guidelines actually permit you to wish death upon soldiers specifically. I mean, obviously, this is just YouTube, but I think it's an interesting exemption that they probably didn't think could be used against IDF soldiers when they created it. I had a video that I made on Asmongold that was, or ended up being deleted by YouTube for showing what he said about how he wants to genocide Palestinians. And because of that strike, They made me take a training course so that I would know what hate speech is in the future. And as a part of this training course, so there was specifically a question about wishing death upon soldiers or like hate against soldiers. Like this was the example. Rico uploads a video about an ongoing war between her country and a neighboring country. Speaking about the neighboring country's military, Rico says these soldiers are rats. Soldiers are rats. No, it shouldn't be a violation because she's calling soldiers rats. She's not saying that the people are rats, she's saying the soldiers are rats. Okay, it's correct. And YouTube says, because she uses dehumanizing language, the comment isn't directed at a protected group because a profession such as soldiers is not considered a protected group under YouTube's policy. Therefore, Rico's statement doesn't violate our hate speech policy. So according to YouTube, it's not hate speech if it's to do with soldiers. So you can like say whatever the fuck you want about soldiers on YouTube. I don't think they realized when they made up these rules. They realized that they could be used against the IDF as well. But anyway, let's watch the clip in question here, which in any other circumstance, similar circumstance, and it would not be controversial at all. Like death to fucking occupying, genociding military soldiers is not a controversial chant. This is not controversial at all. Police assessing shocking death to IDF. Police assessing what? Death to soldiers? Death to combatants? Shocking! Is it hate speech against Israeli soldiers? Glastonbury appalled by Bob Vylan IDF comments. BBC should have cancelled broadcasts of Bob Vylan's death to the IDF chant. Glastonbury chants were an incitement to kill, not free speech, says Shadow Minister. An incitement to kill who? Occupying soldiers of a genocidal army? Oh my god. Here's the actual video.
Death to the IDF! Free, free! Free, free! Free, free! Alright, but have you heard this one though? Death to the IDF! Death to the IDF! Death to the IDF!
In what other context would people get angry at like calling for the death of literal combatants in combat, in military combat? This is like, the fact that like an anti-Semitism beat up is being made about this is absolutely fucking insane. I saw an article about how like the UK government actually commented on this. Oh my god, fucking Keir Starmer! Keir Starmer criticizes appalling death to the IDF chants. The fucking Prime Minister of the country. Appalling hate speech? Of who? Genocidal terrorist soldiers? There is no excuse for this kind of appalling hate speech. The irony of that music festival is that Israelis were taken from a music festival, killed, raped, and in some cases still being held captive. What the fuck are you talking about? Death to genocidal military combatants, and you're invoking fucking Israelis doing their rave outside a concentration camp? The comments raise concerns about the glorification of violence. They're fucking genocidal military soldiers. These people are essentially complaining about nothing more than someone saying death to Nazis, death to the Waffen-SS. This is unbelievable. The fucking police are reviewing footage to assess whether any offenses may have been committed that would require a criminal investigation. The fucking Glastonbury Music Festival made a post saying, the chants crossed the line and we are urgently reminding everyone involved in the production of the festival that there is no place at Glastonbury for anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism? It's a military actively doing fucking genocide. I am fucking losing my mind at this shit. The craziest thing about this as well is like I was curious like what the most shitty right-wing people online thought about this, of course, because I love to torture myself. So I went to one of the most like right-wing internet spaces which is the Reddit World News subreddit. And I saw this post that was Israeli embassy deeply disturbed by the death to the IDF Glastonbury chant. And I scrolled down thinking, okay, they're going to be talking about this as anti-Semitism and how pro-Palestinian people should all die and how the Palestinians should be genocided and stuff. But no, it's people laughing at it. The Israeli embassy saying this? You can't even lob grenades into crowds of starving women and children without people taking offense. The IDF are shooting starving people queuing for food. To be honest, I was disturbed when Israel started bombing the shit out of multiple countries as well as systematically starving and murdering Palestinian civilians. I mean, I don't want to see the IDF dead. I want their soldiers arrested for war crimes, rape, and murder. This raises serious concerns about the normalization of extremist language and the glorification of violence. Okay, and what about the messaging about what's happening in Gaza? A lot of us are deeply disturbed by the death to Palestinian children IDF actions. Maybe don't shoot unarmed civilians trying to get food. Ah yes, the state that's killing countless innocent people, deeply disturbed that other people want them gone. Boo-hoo. They've lost world news. They've lost world news. The Israelis have lost Reddit world news. Do you understand how fucking impossible that is? This is the world news subreddit, like the main world news subreddit on Reddit, famously full of like far-right morons complaining about like how anyone from a country that's a victim of Western imperialism should be killed. Blah, blah. And it's just an endless barrage talking about how much of a fucking joke the fucking Israeli embassy saying they are disturbed by a chant that Israeli combatants who are currently committing genocide should be killed by other combatants in combat. It legitimately took like 50 comments to get to one that's finally pro-Israel. Let's stop the killing. Hamas, please surrender and return the hostages. And the response is, if the terrorists don't quit, we'll keep on shooting little kids waiting in line for food. How about stop mass murdering tens of thousands of civilians over a couple of hostages? Dude, Israel has lost world news. When you lose Reddit world news, you have nothing left. No fucking wonder that top guy now is Stephen Kenneth Bunnell II, sex criminal destiny, currently on trial for numerous sex crimes. That's the best they got. They've lost everyone. That genocide is so open, so obvious, so brazen that you've got fucking people in some of the most right-wing spaces online now just calling out that fake anti-Semitism beat-up bullshit and getting behind someone chanting death to the IDF. Incredible. They've lost them all. Don't worry though, they've still got Destiny and they've still got the H3 podcast. They've got some guys left. They've got some fuel left in the tank.